A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away. Hey everybody! Thank you so much for joining another. Excuse me. Great. My voice is like starting to break now, like I'm going through puberty. Hey everybody! Thank you for listening to another edition of For Light and Dice. We are gathering here today to play another session. This is going to be kind of what I would call like more of a mini session. This is a if you were to think of this in Clone Wars terms, this is like a single episode that occurs between two major arcs. But from here on out, we're going to do something a little bit differently, but we'll talk more about that in the future. For right now, our heroes have decided to split and go across the galaxy on their own individual missions, and that is going to probably continue for the foreseeable future. That said, hi everybody, I'm Chris. I am the game master of this game. My pronouns are he, him. My character pronouns are everybody because I'm basically playing everyone else in the galaxy. Hope, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Hope. My pronouns are she, her, and I play Goz. She is a Gazo, and her pronouns are also she, her.
Charles?
Hi, I'm Charles. My pronouns are he, him, and I play Wynne, the Duros pilot, whose pronouns are he, they.
Nathan?
Yeah, I'm Nathan. My pronouns are they, them, and I play Zero, the droid engineer, whose pronouns are also they, them.
Jess?
Hi, I'm Jess. My pronouns are they, them. I play Lysander, the human, and his pronouns are he, him.
And Colton?
Howdy, howdy. My name's Colt. I play IA1N, and everyone's favorite droid, probably. Oh, and we both go by any pronouns.
Awesome. So before we jump into the actual game, I did want to read a review that one of our listeners sent in. I thought was very enduring. Lady Marcion Ho 69 wrote in.
Oh boy!
Great.
Every word of that got better.
Yeah.
It just went on, and it was just so much better.
I've never seen a username so succinctly tell a story.
Right? I've never felt so seen before, actually.
Yeah, same.
She wrote, I've never played a tabletop role-playing games before, but I am seriously enjoying the podcast. Thank you so much for everyone doing this game. How do I get started? I really want to play tabletop games with you all right now. And also, the story feels like it's just another extension of the High Republic. That's awesome. Thank you so
Wow.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It makes me feel weird and twiggy that people like us.
Yeah, and I'm not saying Lucasfilm should hire us, but I'm saying Lucasfilm should hire us.
Lucasfilm, call me. I am available all of the time for you.
Yeah, like seriously, I would love to just do this professionally. Yeah. So again, any of y'all that want to subscribe to our podcast and leave a review, please do. It really helps more people discover us. Our audience has been growing, which is a little nerve-wracking for me because I always, with any of the podcasts I do, I'm always really flattered that anybody takes the time to listen. And for this podcast in particular, going on this journey with a group of amazing, wonderful people and having seeing our audience grow as well is very heartwarming, and also my imposter syndrome kicks in. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. With that said, so last game where we left off on kind of the end of an arc where you helped out the Republic and the Jedi technically find information on Ambassador Aslan. Ambassador Pola was able to take the recordings that were provided by 1 and 2, and after that event, we're going to do kind of a little bit of a time jump because if you recall as well, there was some damage done to some of the ships trying to get to Yag'Dhul. So there took some time to repair the ships. Ambassador Pola had recommended to you all to kind of lay low while she went to go speak to the Council of Given and basically submit the evidence. When that happens, shortly after, the Council of Given are quite embarrassed that one of their own attempted to sabotage the negotiations that were happening between the Republic and the Given. And essentially, what you did with the information you provided allowed for the talks to continue. Jedi Knight Elzar Mann thanked you all for helping him, and he mentions that the Jedi will not forget this, but he does return back to Coruscant. Ambassador Pola gives those of you who decide that you want to go to Naboo information that you will be given an apartment where you are welcome to stay. And she says as soon as you arrive, expect to have some investigators question you. And Jess is raising their hand.
Yeah, before Elzar left, did Lysander get to like see his cool lightsaber?
I was gonna actually say Elzar does allow you to take a look at his lightsaber. Yes.
Yes.
Elzar was also supposed to give Lysander drinks too.
That's fine. Lysander was more interested in playing with the lightsaber.
Oddly, Elzar, when he lets you take a look at the lightsaber, he spends a lot of time kind of almost studying you, Lysander. And before you have a chance to give it back to him, he says to you, it's unfortunate you weren't born inside of the Republic.
Lysander would probably be like, yeah, it's a real shame, isn't it? And probably be sad.
Oh. But yeah, so this game session happens a few days after the events of the previous session. The Council of Given has thanked you all tremendously for your help in revealing the conspiracy. It's unfortunate that Ambassador Aslan is dead, so he cannot face justice. And they seem to write off the fact that a lot of people died on the space station, but from their perspective, they were all henchmen of Ambassador Aslan anyway. So, oh well. So we'll start.
Would you say it's just for my records? Would you say it's about a week? It's been about a week.
Say it's about a week.
Say it's about a week.
Yeah. It's been about a week. You all are you were given a high-rise apartment to stay in while you're waiting for the ships to be repaired, and we'll start off with you all together, getting ready to basically separate. The capital city, Doji Kani, whatever it's freaking called. It's a crazy ass city name. It is a massive metropolis where all the buildings almost look identical. They are skyscraper shaped. Yes, Charles.
Hope is raising her hand.
Oh, Hope. I was sorry. I need to fix my screen.
When you say that the ships were repaired, one of the things that we were supposed to do is get upgrades to the ship. So did we go ahead and get that too while we were at it? So.
I was thinking we could. So they're only going to be able to do repairs. If you want to buy new stuff, that's going to need to be played out in a separate conversation.
That's what I was mostly just asking about.
Yeah, especially since Pola recommended that you lay low until they meet with the council and get all that stuff settled. It would probably be difficult for you all to go out shopping and also try to find buyers for your trade goods.
You know we weren't going to deal with that off screen.
No. Okay. So the Council of Navigators, which is a separate entity from the Given, do provide you all with the name of a person that you can speak to. A Given named Cruelta Mulis. I'll put the spelling of his name in Discord for you all.
Please, dear God, yes.
Can you repeat that?
Cruelta. This is technically Legends. One second, let me put it.
Ooh, we're canonizing some legends. Look at you, Dave Filoni.
I know. I'm not even sure if I'm pronouncing this in Crota?
Croutons?
Let me check and see.
Krutoa.
I would say that
maybe?
is Krutoa, maybe.
Yeah.
But this is such an obscure name, I couldn't even find him on Wikipedia.
Wow.
Which is nuts.
So I do want to state something for our audience, because I don't think it's been explicitly made clear what exactly is going on whenever I stop to ask for spellings or time distance. A lot of times games will have one or more or everybody will take notes. One of the things that I do is because that's who I am as a human person, I have settled into partially the role of being the player that takes notes on what happened from the player's perspectives. So if I'm stopping to ask, no, there is an internal notes document in character from Wynne that we've referenced a few times. Part of it is because at the beginning of the session, then that player will recap what happened last time, so everybody remembers. So it can be helpful for games to have one or more people take notes on what happens. That way the onus is not on the DM to say, remember everything that occurred, because a lot of games aren't recorded, and the DM doesn't have to go back and edit them after the fact. So just as a helpful tip and trick to the audience, that's why I'm constantly asking, how do you spell this person's name? Where exactly are we? What date exactly is it? So that I can note that down so I can tell other players.
And you said Krutas that counts on navigators?
He is a member of the Council of Navigators, but he's also apparently a keeper of the navigation library. So for those of y'all that wish to meet with them, that's who you would go to. Also, the Given are just generally very pleased with you all. Even though it's a bit of an embarrassment for them to have one of their what they refer to as a high bureaucrat betray the council, they are in your debt. So you are seen favorably generally by at least the high society of the Given. Dodocopolis is under a massive dome. Most buildings are tall skyscrapers. Kind of reminds you of Coruscant a little bit, except that each building pretty much looks identical. There are bridges that connect buildings to different levels. Some buildings can rise to about 1,000 stories tall, and there are millions of people living in the city. Now, the primary population are the Given, but there are other species of people wandering around as well. Dodocopolis is a major trade city. The gravity storms outside of the planet have calmed down, so a lot of trade ships are going in and out now, and traffic is flowing freely, allowing the people who are waiting to leave, and allowing people who are waiting to get in. And with that said, it is, you think, the middle of the day. The suns don't really set in Yag'Dhul. It's always a weird greenish, orangish sky, and the dome kind of makes that kind of filters that color out and kind of simulates the sensation of sunshine if you're on a planet that has a sun, or at least one. And otherwise, it is a mostly beautiful day. 1 and 2 are recharging. Would Gonk hang out with y'all in the apartment? Or
Yes.
do you leave him? Okay.
Obviously.
And yeah, Gonk is kind of just like wandering, waddling around a little bit. There's a balcony that's very large and has a nice little garden set up in the back that he's kind of wandering around in right now. And he says, "Gonk."
Wynne, who is also seated in the garden, reading the news on a data pad and drinking a very tall iced calf, says, "Thank you, Gonk," without looking up from their data pad.
The last week, Goz has kind of kept to herself just a little bit, but she's been spending time with like 1 and 2 and Gonk as well. And she just comes out and just smiles, like watching Gonk, and it's just like, I finally have calf of my own because they provided it. So she's sipping her calf, just kind of idly following Gonk around, just watching what they do. She has the stickers she stole from the space station. A couple have appeared on Gonk. But
And guys, there is also a very nice kitchen in this apartment.
oh, she's also, is food provided for us?
Oh yeah, it's fully stocked.
Oh, she's been cooking great then. Making little meals for like Wynne and Lysander to take with them too, like prepping meals for them.
meal prepping. Nice. What is everybody else doing?
Wynne has spent this week making sure that there's like enough weaponry and stuff in the case of a bounty hunter finding our location that we're all able to defend ourselves. So just like constantly looking at like everyone who's walking by, making sure that like each room has at least 2 blasters in it, so on and so forth.
Okay.
I think Zero has also been spending a lot of time with 1 and 2, just trying to get to know them and understand them better, and hopefully try to establish more of a connection so that when we need them to do things, they won't, it might not be quite as chaotic as has been the case so far.
1 and 2 might have some stickers on them too. But she would let them make the choice whether or not to have the stickers.
Yeah, 1 and 2 are definitely extremely quirky. Organics would probably refer to this quirk as a serious malfunction. But nonetheless, they're similar to the twins in that they have kind of their own secret language. Sometimes when they are talking just to each other, it's kind of hard to kind of track what they're saying, but if you spend enough time with them, you just kind of figure out that, they're really just on their own frequency when it comes to how they communicate.
Goz has a familiarity with twins, so that's why she's been kind of drawn to the 2 of them.
I do think in the moments where Zero is recharging, I do think they are going to attempt to sort of analyze the Sith code in their brain and see if they can remember anything, just running diagnostics on themselves to try to understand themselves better. So I don't know if I can roll for that at all, or if
you can definitely spend time trying that, but unfortunately, you're not able to draw out any information, any additional information than what's already been told.
Yeah,
your data is just too incomplete.
Figured as much.
What about you, Lysander?
Yeah, Lysander has spent a lot of the week holed up in his room here reading stuff on the HoloNet. What he won't tell anyone else. He's just like, whenever anyone comes to see, like, hey, Lysander, what are you doing? It just like immediately turns off the holopad like nothing. It's none of your business.
Lysander, at one point you are watching GMZ, and on the TV, the news anchor says, "Is Lena so in debt?" And it's a whole news story about how apparently Chancellor So has been getting random invoices from some place in Nalhutta, and she's refusing to pay the bill. Of course, the Chancellor's office is denying this story as nothing more than tabloid rubbish.
Incredible.
Oh, great.
Yay! So, Gaz just comes over and just sits down beside Wynne, just watching Gonk. And kind of looks over at them. Are you guys gonna be okay?
Wynne looks up from the data pad and thinks for a minute and says, by our general standards of okay, I would say yes. By the standards of normal galactic residents, they just kind of put their hands up in a shrug.
Do you... She kind of just shakes her head. Just be careful.
We will be careful. I promise I will look out for the kid as best as I possibly can.
You need to look out for yourself as well.
Wynne kind of pauses, and there's a note of concern on their Duro's face, and they say, I always have tried, at least. And they look back down at their data pad and take a long sip of iced calf.
Do you have people back home? That friends or family?
Wynne thinks for a moment and replies, I don't know if I would really say I have a back home. There's a planet where my parents live, but I never really wanted to go back there after I left. I suppose it worked out to be just adrift like I am. Everywhere else I've either been removed from or left, so I guess no, not really.
I've been thinking about my family a lot too. And with everything with the Republic going on, and if they were even questioned by the Republic and Lysander's family, and just wondering what they think about all of us right now with wanting wanted posters and bounty notices and... Sorry, just be careful.
I promise we will be careful. Also, isn't Lysander from, like, the Outer Rim?
That does that mean that his family loves him less? What is that supposed to mean?
It means the Republic might not have as much presence out there. If it makes you feel better, Lysander's family probably isn't being questioned.
Yeah, Lysander comes out of his room and he's just like, are you guys talking about me? I heard my name.
We're talking about how you're from the middle of nowhere.
I was wondering if our families are worried about us with everything that's going on. And Wynne has to be the big old tough one of just like, oh, you don't get to see my tragic backstory. No one really cares about me. I'm just
Wynne
be
laughs.
solo. Be
Wynne is
slow.
actually laughing. It's a very bizarre sound.
Lysander, I made Wynne laugh!
Oh my god.
I did it! I need a medal.
Truthfully, if the Republic is not a authoritarian dictatorship, much as I might think that they're extending their reach, I'm sure if anyone's families are being questioned, if they genuinely don't know anything, they will likely be fine.
Alright. What about, okay.
I would worry more about us.
Yeah.
And then Wynne looks up to Lysander and very quickly says, but I'm sure we'll be fine.
You guys are going to the cushy house of Naboo. We're the one trying to get rid of trade goods. And
I know
find-
nothing about any trade goods or any illegal anything that may or may not be located somewhere in our vicinity.
Yeah. You guys have fun, live it up on Naboo. Get me a t-shirt. Give me some food. Some snacks. On Naboo, they have these like little like crunched things, and like you put them in your mouth. They're like little seeds, and they're covered with like this like kind of like creamy outer side. And when you eat it and you bite into it, it pops in your mouth. They're called like Populo poppers or something like that. Please grab me a bag.
We can definitely be on the lookout for some poppers for you, yes.
Thanks.
Reminder, folks, this is an E for Explicit podcast.
Wait, what?
Oh god.
I'll tell you later.
Okay, because my
Yeah.
I think my ace brain just went over that.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Yeah, when two gay men spontaneously meet each other.
Okay, moving on.
Moving on. Yeah.
Is it called something?
It's okay, Hope. I only
Anyway,
found out
what
about
is it?
those
Are
like,
you confused too,
a
Jess?
month ago.
Anyway,
Chris and I will tell you on the break.
thanks.
Yeah. We're gross people.
Understand that Wynne just made a very funny joke for all of our gay men in the audience.
My goodness.
IA1N is gonna float over. Hello. I believe that we need to discuss the future.
Oh, hooray, we're having a party.
Outside my window?
Should we get
and-
0 then?
Yes.
I think Zero is just kind of stoically looking out over the balcony, the wind blowing their poncho as they look sort of like Clint Eastwood. without a single thought in their head, just
The
standing
droid with
there
no name.
like a droid with no name.
Wynne sets their data pad down and turns it off with a swift motion. However, I will say before, Goz is sitting next to Wynne. How close is Lysander to them? Is he still in the door?
Yeah, he's still in his door, but he'll come over if we're gonna have a meeting.
So, guys, you can see that on the data pad, Wynne was reading, before they turn it off, you can see that Wynne was reading what looks like a bunch of reports of ships coming into and out of Naboo. You are the only one who saw this before the data pad was turned off.
She kind of looks at them and kind of looks forward, like, okay. I mean, does it look suspicious or just like data?
It's just data. It's a list of ships coming in and out of Naboo.
Oh, she doesn't care about that if it's not like a celebrity or something. She's just like, oh, Wynn's doing more nerd stuff.
I do think Zero will stand at the balcony until someone comes and gets them.
Yeah, one N will be like, Zero, please join us.
Oh, okay. I was just standing here. Yep.
You
All right.
look-
What
you-
are we talking about?
You look so regal.
Regal.
Yeah. Like a good captain.
I was a good captain, and now we are a good captain.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Wynne gives
What
a
are we
sort of
talking about?
half-hearted thumbs up.
I believe it is prudent to discuss our plans for after we get our ship upgrades and clear our name at Naboo. For example, where shall we meet?
Probably wouldn't be best to bring the Squonk to Naboo.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not Naboo. Probably, definitely not Coruscant.
I guess it really depends on the directions we get, right? From the coordinates. We might try to meet close to the coordinates so we don't have to jump as far. Do we need to decide that now?
Well, we know for sure they're somewhere out in wild space.
Well, wild space.
Lysander, you
circles
said you're from
everything.
wild space, right? Do you have a place we could meet?
I mean, if the coordinates lead us closer to my home planet, we could meet there, but also, I don't know about going home.
I have an alternative suggestion. We could meet up again on Jakku.
Who wants to go to Jakku, though?
No one, that's the point. Archaeologists and excavators. These are the only people who want to go to Jakku.
Yeah, what? Have you contacted those archaeologists at all? Do you know what their plans are?
Not yet, but I was thinking if we were able to get the information from the Council of Navigators, then archaeologists may be helpful in providing some additional context before we embark to those coordinates. And it's not like we can simply go to the University of Barlith and ask them. I owe the university way too much money.
I think Jakku sounds great.
I concur.
That was the shortest discussion we've ever had on a plane. Yay!
I mean, I don't think any of us really have any other suggestions for places, so...
I mean, I kind of do, but it just really depends on where the coordinates take us.
Well, it's useful to have a backup, guys. Let's hear it.
Well, on Dragor 3, every family of Gazos is given a share of fuel. So if we needed fuel for any of the ships, I do, by my family title, like have access to fuel that's free and it's mine to claim. But I don't know where in Star Wars Jaguar 3 is because it's yet to be put on a map.
It is in the,
But I don't.
Justice for Resistance. Anyway, moving on.
Right?
it is in the Outer Rim territories.
Yeah, that's a lot of territory. That narrowed it down to 10,000 planets. But so if we ever need spare fuel, I do get so much given to me by my family a year. And my parents and family would love all of you. Except for one of them. He's an asshole. We don't like him. We love him. We don't like him.
Yeah, I know the feeling. It sounds to me like the plan seems to be that we will rendezvous together on Jakku and speak to these archaeologists that we met on Nalhada and these excavators and see if we can get any additional context on coordinates or anything the Council of Navigators gave us. And then we will begin exploring potential final locations before headed out to wherever these coordinates lead us. Fuel may be good. When kind of turns to look over at Lysander. What even is on Lysatra anyway?
Not much. We're also a trade stop, so there actually is quite a lot of traffic going on there between wild space and also unknown regions, and sometimes the Republic will try and show up, but yeah, for the most part we're just a trade stop in wild space.
It's where cutie patooties are made.
I mean, I guess I'm cute. I also have a younger brother who I'd say is cuter because he is a literal child.
Oh, how old is he?
He's 10.
Oh, that's such a fun age. Ugh.
I think that it sounds like we have some potential useful resources for our... I'm feeling much more confident about a trip out to random coordinates that we don't know what's there, that are thousands of years old, at the behest of a ship that may or may not be evil.
Well, if worst comes to worst, we could just, all get on the one end and leave the Squonk to do its squonky things.
The only thing more terrifying than being on the Squonk is the idea of the Squonk running around without any sort of supervision.
Yeah, the Squonk, infected the station. I don't know that we want to just let it roam around. I don't know what its plans are, but I can't imagine that just sort of letting it be free to infect the galaxy with its brain is a great idea.
Can you imagine if it got into, I don't know, for instance, Starlight Beacon?
That would be horrible.
Finish building the thing.
I'm still not entirely sure what it's for, but that sounds like a bad idea.
I think Starlight Beacon sounds like a great idea, and I'm really excited for when it finishes.
We'll have to visit.
That sounds fun. It's the Jedi and the Republic, my two favorite types of people.
But they're gonna have cafes with the best calf in the galaxy.
I am suddenly completely on board with going to Starlight Beacon.
There you go, buddy. So I guess this is it. Are we all gonna do our things?
Well, we all have our missions. I'm feeling confident about... And Wynne looks over at one end and says, almost everyone's behaving.
Valid.
All right. yeah, so the party's gonna do what you don't do in a tabletop role-playing game, and that is split the party. But y'all, this game session was actually a lot of fun to run through, so I'm very excited to let y'all hear what happened. It was actually really cool and interesting, and as you may have started to notice, we're going to be focusing a lot more on the character's backstory, so that's kind of what's coming up. However, there's going to be some cool surprises and stuff that you can look forward to. I'm very excited for y'all to hear it. If you'd like to hang out with us between episodes, we are currently still just on Twitter, at For Light and Dice. Just follow us there and shout out at us, and would love to interact with you. Additionally, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to our podcast on any podcast platform of your choosing. Leave a review and tell your friend about us. Also, a huge shout out to Grushkov, who is the composer of the music. They have just put out more High Republic music, which is fantastic and awesome, and not reminding me of any of the trauma that Star Wars inflicts on me on a regular basis, because High Republic is pretty intense, y'all. Anyway, thank y'all so much for listening, and may the Force be with you.